Affirmations Tuesdays. My Wi-Fi is very, very, very sluggish. I don't know why. So, anyways, there. Uh, Welcome. So, thank you for being patient with me last week. I had just gotten out of the hospital, so I wasn't feeling very positive. Um, Today we're going to talk about how using positive affirmations really can work for you. And anybody that has used them before knows that there's a lot of power when you use them. And it's not just hocus pocus, it's not just mumbo jumbo, it's not just feel good BS. They really, really work if you work them. So I want to talk about using your positive affirmations to have a new beginning. Hello, Mary Lou. How are you? That reminds me, for anybody that may watch this later, it originally aired as a live stream. So you will hear me interacting with people in the chat. And if you ever want to join live with the interactive chat, you can do that Tuesdays at noon Pacific Standard Time. So, having said that, hi Mary Lou. I'm feeling a little bit better. Still kind of trying to get my bearings and get back into the schedule. You know, my schedule, kind of the way I like to do things. Hi Sarah Painter, how are you? Welcome. So, I want to talk today about using positive affirmations, because that's what we're here to do. And I know we've made our own positive affirmations cards, and we meet here every week for an hour of positivity. And I want to know, when you use your cards, and I hope you're using your cards, don't you notice a difference? Don't you notice a difference in your energy or your mindset, whatever it is? Have you noticed that? Anyone? Anyone? I notice a difference, especially if I'm struggling or something's come up that's very particular, and I go and use a positive affirmation that is specifically meant to combat that emotion. It does a shift in my mind. Mary Lou says she does it first thing in the morning and sometimes later in the day. Listen, and do you notice a shift in your change in your mental outlook? Especially if you ever really need one, because sometimes you need that little boost, right, to help you get over a little hump, a little hump or a big hump, whatever. Yeah, Sarah says that she didn't notice straight away, but eventually. Well, that's the power behind positive affirmations, is you have to do it. You have to do a lot of repetition with it before it starts to sink in. Mary Lou says not too much of a change, maybe a little at this point. You have to, when you use your positive affirmation cards or your affirmations, you have to use them with, you have to focus, you have to have intention to feel better, you have to believe, you have to at least want to believe in what you're saying to yourself, and you have to do it all the time. That's how we learn things, by doing it over and over and over and over again, right? When you think about the negative ways that you might feel about certain things, like I have a negative reaction to needles, shots of any kind. which was interesting, being in the hospital, because that's all they did was poke, 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 poke. I have a really negative response to those kind of things, not just from one experience, but from things that happened over and over and over again. Think about your ABCs. You didn't learn your ABCs the first time that somebody told you them, right? You had to do it over and over and over and over again. You have to train your muscle memory. You have to retrain the way your brain thinks. And you also have to understand, when you're using them, that if you do use them with focus and the intention, and your goal is self-betterment, you can't change the past. We can't change the past, no matter how much you think about it or dwell about it or go to therapy about it. You cannot change the past, but you can. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Ronnie Lynn. Welcome. While you can't change the past, and you can't really control the future, you can influence it, and you can change the way that you think about things that happen to you. You can change the way you think about your experiences. And when you're able to do that every day, every single day, becomes a new possibility. Mary Lou says, I have a lot of negative now dealing with the damaged nerves in my feet. They're always hot and swollen. That's hard. That's physical, right? I have heard it said that you can mentally escape the pain with meditation. I don't know how that works. I'm not very good at meditation. I have ADD and OCD, and I'm just kind of a spaz. So meditation is really hard for me, because even in the midst of it, when I think I'm starting to get it, I'm like, oh, squirrel, right? But I've heard it said that with meditation, you can overcome a lot of your pain. Positive affirmations, that's not meditation. So I don't know how you get around, right, Mary Lou says the meditation doesn't really help with constant pain. Yeah, listen, positive affirmations aren't going to make the pain go away. They're not going to make the pain go away. That's really something that you have to deal with your doctor about, right? So, but when you use, I'm more talking about mental and emotional wounds and damage. Physical damage, positive affirmations aren't going to help. I can do positive affirmations all day long. It's not going to change this trach in my throat. It's not going to change it. It can help me change the way I think about it. It can help me change the way that I process the trauma of when it happened. But it's not going to take the trach away. That's not what positive affirmations just can't do. That's not what we're doing here. But it can help me reframe the trauma and reframe the way I look at myself with the trach, right? Mary Lou says, I believe that the affirmations will put positive thoughts in my head. They will help you view the world more positive, view your world more positive, if that's what you're putting in. Just listen, if you're in a toxic relationship or a toxic place in your life and around toxic people, and that's all that you're taking in is toxicity, then that's what your head and your heart and your emotions are going to be flooded with. Hi, Nat, welcome. If it's kind of like you are what you eat. If you're putting in more positive, you're going to start to balance the scales. So when you use your affirmations, like I said, with focus and with intention and repetition, you will start to notice a difference. And when you realize that you hold the power to pick up a positive affirmation card, read it to yourself, read it again, put it someplace where you can see it. You're not just sitting back being a victim of whatever circumstances, but you realize that you have the power to do a mental and emotional shift. I promise you things will start to get better. And it will be, like I said, every day will become a new possibility. Because that's all we have is today. I mean, how many of us have just marinated over things that have happened in the past, just over and over and over and over? It hasn't changed. Doesn't change what happened, right? Doesn't change it at all. I mean, just think about it. Let's say something that the Queen of England, when she was alive, let's say there was something that she did that really, really bothered you. And if you lost sleep over it and stomped around the house about it and were angry, would it change what the Queen of England had done? No, it's done. It's the same thing with our past. You can't change what the Queen of England did. You can't change what Napoleon did because it's history. You can't change what you did. You can't change what somebody else did. You can change the way you process it, and you can change your reaction to a similar situation if it was to happen again. That's what positive affirmations can do for you. You can retrain your brain, if that makes sense. So I want to do a reading today out of, I love Melody Beatty, out of her Journey to the Heart. And it's called Honor the Beginning. Okay? Beginnings can be delicate or explosive. They can start almost invisibly or arrive with a big bang. Beginnings hold the promise of new lessons to be learned, new territory to be explored, and old lessons to be recalled, practiced, and appreciated. Beginnings hold ambiguity, promise, fear, and hope. Don't let the lessons, the experiences of the past, dampen your enthusiasm for beginnings. Just because it's been hard doesn't mean it will always be that difficult. Don't let the heartbreaks of the past cause you to become cynical, close you off to life's magic and promise. Open yourself wide to all that the universe has to say. Let yourself begin anew. Pack your bags. Choose carefully what you bring, because packing is an important ritual. Take along some humility and lessons of the past. Toss in some curiosity and excitement about what you haven't yet learned. Say goodbye to those you're leaving behind, and don't worry about who you will meet or where signals, teachings, lessons, and words of wisdom come from. It is eager to give us guidance if we just watch, wait, and listen. Sometimes this guidance comes from people we know, other times from people we barely know. But even with this help, when it comes from those we are closest to and love most, the answer must resonate with that place deep inside of us. It must resonate with our core. It must ring true for us. Listen to those around you. Listen to the guidance of the universe and all the voices it uses to speak to you. But always trust yourself. Trust your inner voice. Trust what you know, because ultimately your path will bring you back to that place. No matter what you do, if it's not right for you, you will need to return to your center, your place of peace, and figure out the action that is right. And the affirmation says, it's better to go with the flow, or it's good to go with the flow, but it's better to go with what you know to be true for you. Trusting yourself is the ultimate lesson. It's where all guidance leads. That's really powerful. And it's really important to be able to trust ourselves. And sometimes because of things that we've been through or ways that we've handled certain situations or people that we've trusted, gave our all to, that didn't work out, we get really gun shy and really spooked because we're scared to trust ourselves anymore. We're not sure. What if we're wrong again? What if we don't handle it well again, right? And that's what positive affirmations are here to teach us. They're to talk to ourselves and gently encourage ourselves into believing that we are the most capable today, regardless of what happened in the past. We are lovable, that we are wise, that we will do the right things for ourselves and for the people around us, and that if things go wrong, we're strong enough to overcome, pick ourselves up, find the lesson in the rubble, dust ourselves off, and move forward. I heard a quote, and I'll probably get it wrong, you know that I often do, by Winston Churchill. And it was said that Winston Churchill said that the definition of success was going from failure to failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. I don't know where I am on the success, on Winston Churchill's success, on his spectrum. I will admit I'm not as enthusiastic about things as I once was, 4 years away from 60 years old. I'm not as enthusiastic. I linger back. I'm a planner now, right? I used to be very spontaneous. Now I plan things out 4, 5, 6 months ahead of time if I can. I want to know, right? Because the past has taught me that when I don't plan, oftentimes things don't go that well. So I had to think about that quote by Churchill. I think we view him as a very successful man, human being in history, right? But man, did he have a lot of trials and tribulations and failures. And he persevered. I'll tell you one thing I think about him. He was a tough SOB. He was tough. You could knock him down, but you couldn't keep him down. And I know that's true about myself too. But has that dulled the shine of my enthusiasm a little bit? Yeah, I'm a little more cautious now about things. But it did make me think that because I've had failure in this area or in that area of my life, does it mean that I shouldn't be hopeful about entering that arena, whatever it is, again? And the truth is no, because if I'm hesitant about entering a certain area of my life because I've suffered in that arena before, that means I'm carrying around baggage. We talked about this. Listen, I don't have the energy to carry around baggage anymore. I gotta start dropping that stuff off at Goodwill or something. Sarah says he never gave up. That's right, he didn't. It was almost like it wasn't in his vocabulary. Defeat was not in his vocabulary. And though he did have failure in his life, we all have failure in his life, failure in our lives, and he had failure on a public scale. I can't even imagine what that would be like, right? He always appeared undaunted. He would charge right back in. I don't know, maybe he used positive affirmations. Maybe it was a thing. I don't know. But I loved that quote, that success is the ability to go from failure to failure to failure without losing enthusiasm or hope or positivity or belief in yourself. That just because you failed before and before that and a couple of times before that doesn't mean that you're not going to nail it this time. You know, like we have the Olympics coming up, right? I watched the Olympic trials. And listen, what those gymnasts and those athletes do is mind-blowing. Can you imagine how many times they fell? How many injuries they sustained? How many times they just couldn't nail that one event? Can you even fathom? And they start young, right? Like gymnasts, I think some of their parents have them in gymnastics at 3 or 4. But that's tough. As a 3. Hello? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Thank you. The peanut gallery always has to chime in. I'm still right here. Just because I'm talking doesn't mean I can't hear you. Yeah, yourself. Always has to have the last word. So, can you imagine 3 or 4 and how many times falling and not getting it right and getting frustrated and getting tired and coming back and doing it again and again and again and again and again? Those gymnasts that we see and the athletes that we see on the Olympics, they didn't jump on the balance beam the first time and nail that routine. You know, that's not how it went down. First of all, they started on a piece of wood that was literally on the floor, right? And still screwed that up. It takes time. It takes work. It takes repetition. It takes practice. It takes belief to get better at something. It's just the way it is. I haven't always been a good baker. I'm still not a great baker. But guess what? I'm better than I was before. Because I kept trying, and I kept learning, and I kept perfecting. Yeah, I heard another quote, and I think a lot of people have said it in a lot of different ways. And it's failure is one step closer to getting it right. There is no success without failures. There's no great successes without struggle. There just isn't. And it's pretty rare that you're going to get whatever it is right, that you're just going to have a perfect 10 straight out of the gate. You're going to fumble and stumble, and you're going to drop the ball, and you're going to lose your way, and you're going to run out of energy. You're going to get tired, and you're going to question if it's worth it, if you're up to the task, whatever it is. But if you really are invested in showing yourself what you're made of and what you can do and how far you can go, you're going to wipe it off, chunk it, whatever went wrong, you dust yourself off, you're going to rethink it, you're going to re-energize yourself, and you're going to do it again. And I promise you're going to get closer the next time. Even if you don't see a marked difference, even if you just go from here to here and you can't see it, I promise you, before you know it, you're going to look and you've gone from here to here. And you're going to wonder what all that crying was about. Mary Lou says determination, good motivator. Yeah, be determined to live the best life that you can every day. And that doesn't mean, going out and reinventing the wheel, making it bigger and better. But you don't even have to leave your house to have a better life today than you did yesterday, because you can just change the way that you're thinking about things. You don't have to even interact with another person to have a better day today than you did yesterday. Just shift your attitude. Sometimes when I'm sitting right over there in that chair, watching that TV right there, and trust me, I'm not changing the world, right? And I'll look around, and, I might have a dog on my lap. I usually have both of them. I might have another one right up there on the back of that couch looking out that window. And I think to myself, I look around, there's nothing wrong in my world. The house is probably clean. Maybe I took some, and I say, thank you, Annette. Thank you for cleaning the house. It's so nice to be able to sit here and relax today. Annette, thank you for doing the laundry yesterday. This is wonderful to be able to just sit here and take a break. Thank you for taking care of everything, because I'll remind myself that I'm content. Happiness kind of comes and goes, right? But contentment is so underrated. And when I remind myself to be grateful and to look around and appreciate the home that I have, that I love, because it makes me feel really good to come home to it, that it's safe, that it's peaceful, that the dogs are safe and happy and content and confident here, that when people come over, they're comfortable in my home, that sense of peace kind of resonates. I feel contentment. And I haven't always felt that. And that's a good thing. I don't always remind myself to look around with gratitude at what I've provided for myself and the things I've done. Like I said, whether it's, this weekend was nice. I spent the weekend outside putting together a potting bench and little raised garden greenhouses, and ordered an outdoor rug for under the canopy for the dogs, and moved stuff around, right? Went into the studio and kind of cleaned some stuff up. I told him to remind myself to be grateful for those things. But then later, when I'm using them and I have appreciation for it. I was outside this morning before this with the puppies, and they were laying on the new rug, and I thought, oh, they're so much more comfortable than they were when it was just sticks and dirt underneath there. Look at them. They can't tell me that they appreciate it, but I see, right? And I provided that for them, and they're my family, they're my loves, they're my companions, and I provided that for them. They couldn't ask me. I saw it, I saw the need, and I wanted them to have a better life and made my life better. So already my today was better than yesterday. Does that make sense? And like I said, I don't just sit here all the time and go, yay, me, yay, this, yay, that. But when I do remember to do it, when I do remember to acknowledge and be grateful for the fact that I did laundry, so there's no laundry piled up, for the fact that I cooked, on Sunday, and I made enough to get through Wednesday so I don't have to cook again, that I made it into the studio and I did something creative. When I do remember to show myself appreciation, to tell myself, and to look around with appreciation, it's a mental positive affirmation, because it reminds me that I'm capable and that I'm worthy of having peace and contentment and a safe home, and a home that isn't everybody's style, but it's my style, and it makes me, it's kind of quirky and it's a little eccentric, and I feel great every time I walk through the door. I feel great. My shoulders relax. And I had years and years and years of my childhood. That was not what I felt in my home. I have a home that I made, and it's everything that I think a home should be. It's not large, it's not grand, but it's safe and it's clean, and there's love in it, and there's laughter in it, and there's food in it, and electricity, and it's cool when it's hot outside, and it's warm when it's cold outside, and it shelters me, and I have gratitude, and I provided that. So just like you provide that for yourself. And you should get a gold star and a little yay and a little ticker tape parade, or ice cream or chocolate for Ronnie Lynn, right? When you have happy pets, when you have happy plants, you provided something that nurtures the living things in your home. That's amazing. I wasn't raised in a nurturing household. I did not know how to do it. when I had my own household. I did not know how to navigate a relationship in a healthy way. I did not know. I made huge mistakes. I made huge messes. I hurt people when I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I just didn't know. I know a little better now. And I do a lot better now. And now I know how to say I'm sorry when I hurt somebody. And that goes a long way. And it's hard for people to do. But yet, I know that that would have made a lot of difference if a lot of somebody would have said that they were sorry. Excuse me, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You're not sorry because you did it again. If somebody had ever said, Jemima Josephine, I know you didn't do it, Coco. Coco's like, I didn't do it, Mom. I know if people had told me in the past when they really hurt me, that they were really sorry and they really understood why I was hurt and why they should be sorry. And then they made an effort to make sure that I knew that they would never do it again. It would have changed a lot of experiences for me. But I can't change. We can't change other people's behavior, and we can't change the past. But after years and years and years, I've learned how to take the lesson of that hurt and use it to try to make sure that I don't hurt anybody else that way. That's growth. That took years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Years. I didn't know how to do any of it. I didn't know how to reflect. I didn't know how to apologize without feeling shame. You know, I didn't know how to make a safe home. I didn't know how to make a safe space for a friendship or relationship. I didn't know how to do any of that. And I had to make a lot of messes and go, ooh, ugh, that doesn't feel good. And I had to stop beating myself up. Because I think we all do that, right? When we mess up or we have a reaction that's kind of cringeworthy, that's what we do. We do it inner cringe and we beat ourselves up and we go over it again and again and again and again and again. And it doesn't change it. But when you acknowledge something that's really cringeworthy and uncomfortable or painful in your life, and you try to change the way that you think about it, and even with using affirmations, right? I could beat myself up over failed relationships. Instead, I say, you made some mistakes, and wow, look at you. You're so capable of learning new tools and behaviors. And you are a really good friend now. Right? Not that I was ever a bad person. I was just a human. I was just a human trying to figure out life. And sometimes there was collateral damage. And I've learned, I think, better how to not do that. I've learned how to really show people that I care about them. And they know that this is a safe place. Even a safe place to have an argument, right? I didn't know that when I was younger. I thought, I had an argument with somebody, that's it, we're done. No, it's not how life works. It's not how, that life doesn't get to work that way because I'm not always right. So even if there's an argument, I mean, as long as there's no lying, cheating, stealing in it, right? I owe it to myself to have that conversation about what went wrong and why. And are we capable of moving forward and not doing this again because it sucked, right? I owe myself to have that conversation because I owe myself the growth that comes from that. The growth comes from misunderstandings and mistakes. You just have to find the lesson. You just have to find the lesson. If you chuck everything away the first time it goes wrong, or the first time you try something and it doesn't work out, think of all the beautiful things in your life you would have missed. What if that was the rule? What if that was the law of the land? If it doesn't go right, or have an argument, or I just don't like it, that's it. I'm never going to try it again. What if, think about some things in life that you would have missed out on if you had chucked it the first time that you made a mistake, or were embarrassed, or were a jerk, or were treated badly, or it just didn't end. What are some of the things in your life that you dearly love and enjoy, would you have missed out? You would have missed out on some beautiful things, right? Let's go back and see a lot of chat. Mary Lou says determination's good motivator. Joy says, this is interesting. I'm glad I'm listening. I'm glad you're listening too. It's 2:28 where you are. In the morning, Joyce? My goodness. Sarah says, I think of Abraham Lincoln having to teach himself to read when he was young. Ronnie Lynn says, eat ice cream, feel better, then try again. Really, she really likes chocolate, but maybe chocolate ice cream. And people, and Natalie says, see, we know ourselves here. Natalie says, Ronnie or chocolate. Ronnie Lynn says, some of my strongest relationships are those that broke up, but we find our way back. Yeah, because generally, sometimes a disagreement is a breakthrough, right? And the relationship or whatever has more authenticity because you get a better understanding of who the other person is and who you are in that relationship. God, give yourself, listen, we all screw up, but you've got to give you got to give yourself the best chance to succeed. And your best chance at succeeding after something unfortunate happens is with encouragement. It's with love and with support and encouragement and focus. That's what happens with those gymnasts and those athletes. Do you think the first time that they mess up a routine, their coach, pulls them aside and grabs them by the throat and just goes, I can't believe you, such an idiot, what an idiot, I can't believe you did that. Why are you even here? And you never get anything right. Do you think that that's what happened? No. Okay, let's do it again. You got this. Pull them aside, give them a pep talk. That's what positive affirmations are. Positive affirmations is your inner coach, it's your inner cheerleader, it's your inner pep talk. It's the gentle love and support and encouragement that you might be down, but you are not out, and you've got this. You might not get it the next time or the time after that, but keep at it, and you got this. And look at all the other things that you've done right. Look at all the other things that knocked you down and should have kept you down, and you got back up and you're better for it. And I'm telling you, from little things. Don't take anything. Listen, you don't leave any stone unturned when you're beating yourself up, do you? So don't you take anything for granted when you're lifting yourself up. You leave no stone unturned when you're tearing yourself down. You look under every single one of those stones when you're lifting yourself up, whether it's from being a better baker or sticking, to your laundry schedule, whatever. That's improvement. And give yourself a pat on the back for it. It's important. Oh, Joyce says in the afternoon. Oh, it's 2:28 in the afternoon. But that's not bad, Joyce. It's 12:45 here. So, everybody feel good about that? You understand how positive affirmations can help you do that? I went and I found some positive affirmations on the web, and so anybody can do this. And I know I've shown some before, but I thought these were really nice. And so because today we talked about how positive affirmations can the way that they can guide you and kind of lift you up, I wanted to show you some of these ones that I found, and I'll read them for you. Healing takes time. Right? We all know that that's true. I am enough. I'm good and getting better. I'm grateful for my body. I believe in myself. I'm confident. I give myself compassion. Very important to be compassionate to yourself. You're only human, right? And you know my motto, you're not going to make everybody happy. You're not a taco. Not everybody's going to be happy when they see you. You do your best. Do your best. I am capable. I am capable of unconditional love. I am living with abundance. I am loved and worthy. I am successful. I deserve to feel joy. I have everything I need. I make good choices. I trust my decisions. My best is enough. Every day I'm getting healthier. Happiness is a choice. I'm allowed to feel good. I am an inspiration to others. I am filled with focus. I'm grateful for this moment. I am peaceful and whole. I hope that you found some good ones in there. Like I said, I didn't choose a positive affirmation card today because I found all of these. and I thought that they were really nice. I mean, there's not one that I don't appreciate, really, and truthfully. Does anybody want me to go back to a previous slide? Was there anything, just in case you're writing them down? I can always show them again, but sometimes one kind of jumps out at you at the moment. It's a really good time to write them down. Ronnie Lynn says they're all true. They are all true. But there's a lot of truth in this world that we don't always believe. So when you say that they're all true, look forward to the day when you will know without a doubt the truth in every one of them that lives in you. Natalie says, I'm grateful for my health. We're grateful for that too, Nat. Ronnie Lynn wanted to see the first batch again, so there it is. And then I will show our little lady that I always show at the end. We're really almost at an hour. Oh, good, Nat. Nat took screenshots of them. I thought they were really nice. I really did. I was really, really pleased with them when I saw them. And I thought it just tied in perfectly to what we were talking about today. Okay? And if anybody wants, I can send them to you in Messenger too, okay? And there she is. There's our little lady, the one that I want to grow up and be. Never let anyone dull your sparkle, including you. Including you. Don't let anybody else dull your sparkle, but don't you be the one doing it low key. Okay? Low key, lift yourself up. All right? Shout it. Shout it from the rooftops. Okay? Maybe life doesn't look the way any of us expected that it would look at this point in our lives, right? But that's everybody. And that doesn't mean that what your life is right now isn't better. If you can't change something, try to change the way you look at it. Okay? Natalie says, have a sparkling week all. Yes, I second that emotion. And on that note, we are going to get out of here. If I do see you, I will see you tomorrow for the Earl Grey Bundt cake, and then on Thursday lasagna on the cooking streams. Okay, and listen, lift yourself up. Lift yourself up. Appreciate yourself. Look around your home and appreciate what you've provided for yourself and what you've provided for others. Okay? You're all good people. Good people make mistakes and have setbacks all the time, and that's how they become great people. I promise you. All right? Thank you all again for coming and spending your time with me. You know that I love it, and I send all of my love and positive energy out to you. Okay? Have the best week, and I will see you here next Tuesday. Bye-bye.